Welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to take a look at what I think is one of the key hands from my scoop win back in April of 2021. And let's get straight into it and I'll show you why I think it's such a key hand. So here you can see then it folds to me on the button. At this stage there are 26 players left. So I go for the min raise here and you can see sixes goes for the call and then queen five suited goes for the call as well. So let's go back a little bit. And we'll see that when we go for an open here, sixes in the small blind is going to play probably best as a jam, and maybe some 3-bets in there, but it's definitely going to be higher EV in terms of chips to go for a jam or a 3-bet here. But as you can see, the villain in this hand just called, and then yeah, as I said before, the big blind goes for the call. Flop comes 8-7-6, 2 clubs. We see a lead from the big blind and we go for a call. We have 2 overs, backdoor flush draw, and then we see sixes go for a raise. Queen five of clubs now goes for the jam. We just have a very, very easy fold at this point. Sixes gets it in, they run it, and queen five suited wins a pretty big pot here. So if we go back to the start of the hand once again, I think it's really interesting. I think it's a key hand because at this stage, when I saw both of these hands, I thought, do you know what? If it was me in the small blind shoes, I would have probably jammed with the sixes. And if he'd have jammed, I would have called with ace queen off and I would have busted in 26th place. So I thought, right, this is pretty interesting. I think we need to run this to make sure that shoving here with sixes is going to be the correct play, because maybe it isn't. Maybe sixes is a call and therefore this isn't lucky for me in the sense that he wasn't supposed to jam here and I wasn't supposed to call and I wasn't supposed to bust in 26th place. But without running it, we don't know. So let's go into HRC now and take a look. All right, so what we've got here then is our opening range. You can see we are supposed to raise 44.4% of hands. And if we click on the small blind strategy, you can see the hands in purple are calls. So hands like ace 10 suited, well, quite a lot of suited aces here. Got some suited kings, queens, jack, 10-9 suited, stuff like that. Going to go for a call. The hands in this sort of pinky color are going to go for a 3-bet, and then the hands in green are going to go for a jam. So if we hover over pocket sixes, you can see that it's mixing between calling and 3-betting, but there isn't any jamming. But to be fair, sevens goes for a jam, 4s, 3s, and 2s go for a jam, 8s goes for a jam. So it's not completely ridiculous to think that pocket sixes would be a jam in this spot. So earlier on, I mentioned about chip EV ranges, so I think it'd be good just to take a quick look at those. So this is the chip EV range for 30 big blinds, small blind versus button open. And this is from the preflop range viewer that you can get access to as part of the MTT Poker Academy. I'm going to post a link down below if you are interested in joining. And yeah, you can get access to this great tool and you can see you've got all the different situations here. You've got those different stack sizes, some of them hidden by the webcam right now. But you can see, yeah, positions, villain's position, our position. Sometimes when it comes to squeezing, you actually get, villain's position, the original opener's position, and then the flatter's position as well. So yeah, plenty of stuff, plenty of information in this range viewer. So if you are interested, check out the Academy. I'll put a link down below. So as you can see then, pocket sixes is mainly a jam, but with some 3-betting as well. And you can see we're jamming 12.5%. We are 3-betting 7.9% and we're going to call 8.3%. So for a moment, let's just compare that to what we're supposed to be doing in this model, which is run for ICM. So in HRC, it's amazing because you can actually run it for 26 players left with the payouts. And you can see that now the small blind is supposed to call 8.4%, 3-bet 12.8%, and jam 5.2%. So just bringing in the range viewer once again, you can see that we are in Chippy V, we're going to call 8.3, but in the ICM model, we're going to call 8.5. So pretty close with that. Then in the Chippy V model, we're going to raise around 8%, around 7.9%. But in the ICM model, we're going to 3-bet 12.8%. And then in the Chippy V model, you can see we're going to jam 12.5%. It's quite a lot of hands. But in the ICM model, we are only going to jam 5.2% of hands. So I think this goes to show how important it is to run these kind of spots and not just rely on your chip EV solutions. I have made a video on this in the past, but I don't think I've ever focused on ICM specifically. It was more on the different stack sizes around the table. But here you can see ICM is going to play a massive part. We are 26 left in a W coupe and we've got to play a very different strategy. So if the small blind did go for the jam here, let's just confirm that I was supposed to call with ace queen off. I am supposed to call with ace queen off. It's worth $959, which, yeah, it was a 109, so what's that, 8 or 9 buy-ins. If he does go for the 3-bet with the pocket sixes, you can see he's mixing between calling and 3-betting, then folds back around to us, well, big blind folds. We then jam with ace queen off, and he is supposed to call it off with sixes. So I think his play was absolutely fine in this spot to call. If he did 3-bet, we jam, he's supposed to call it off, and that seems fine as well. So I actually discussed this hand in quite a lot of detail on my podcast. It's called Poker on the Mind. It's a podcast I do with Dr. Tricia Gardner, where we focus on mindset and tournament poker strategy. So if you're interested in that, I will pop a link down below in the description. The thing with this hand, though, is I thought it was probably the luckiest hand I've ever played, because I fully expected sixes to jam in this spot. And I think it just goes to show how sometimes you can expect one thing. You think, okay, my knowledge of poker is at this level. This is what I think sixes should do in this spot. But actually, it's not correct. You know, there wasn't any jamming in the ICM solution, right? So it's very, very different. And I think it just goes to show how important it is to study these spots and not just, as I said before, rely on the chippy V solutions, especially when you're 26 left in a scoop. So actually then, this hand, not that lucky at all. Maybe it was lucky in a way that both of these players flopped so strong on this board and we were able to get away because the turn was the queen. So it was a pretty interesting run out. Would have been very, very interesting had this hand got all the way to the river multi-way, but it didn't, and we were saved. And we went along with 26 big blinds, 25 big blinds at this stage, and we went on to win the tournament. So on that note, I'm going to sign off. If you haven't done so already, hit that subscribe button and make sure you click the notification icon or bell as well. And until next time, take care, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.